Hey, everybody, guess what? We're here with a new show.
Brand new show.
We've been talking about it. We've been scaring people about it. It's Para Geeks. And I didn't put my Para Geeks shirt on.
I noticed.
It is.
It's in the back. It's here. Hey, wait a minute. How did I get a paper straw and everybody else got plastic? What's up with that?
It's not what you know, it's who you know over in the infamous Chinese triad.
So tonight we're going to introduce everybody. Does that say ParaGeeksTV.com? I couldn't see that.
Yes.
Yeah, see, he's the man. Yeah. So we're going to introduce everybody. And I know everybody's used to seeing me sit in the middle, but I am not the Master Macabre. I'm just telling you right now. We have that man right in the middle. So, Mark, so let's tell people about who you are and why we drug you in on this.
Okay, so a little bit about me before we get into the show. I guess we're going to do that a little bit about each of us before we get into the show. So I am Mark Muncy, for those of you who don't know. I am the author of the Erie, Florida series of books from History Press, best-selling series. We do the myths, monsters, legends, including paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs, all the fun stuff, cryptids, great legends, and stuff like that. And I also ran a haunted house for 20 years, a haunted attraction called Hellview Cemetery that was so infamous it was banned by the city of St. Petersburg. So
whoa! You got banned?
We are literally banned from ever producing another haunted house.
How is that possible?
That's fantastic.
I've been through that.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
I know it wasn't, but we just that's how it works. So
was it a permitting thing?
We were getting a little too big for our britches, and 10,000 people a weekend going through my backyard.
Maybe that's what
probably more to do with it than the amount of scares we did.
Wow.
But it was for charity, it's for a good cause. But what we did is, our twist on this was we based it on local lore and legends. So it wasn't instead of a werewolf jumping out at you, we had the skunk ape jumped out at you. Instead of a vampire, we had Madame Moore, the infamous bordello owner, and we kind of from dusk till dawn her story. So it was based on real historical data. So I started researching these local legends and lore and throwing them into the haunted house. So I collected stacks and stacks of stories, and that's where Erie, Florida came in, and that is what I am here for, is to present the folklore and the history behind the places that these fine folks are going to be investigating. And I'll talk a little more about that.
He called me a fine folk.
So,
truly, that's a misnomer.
So let's talk to our investigators.
Let's talk to the investigative side. As he starts to drink, it's not the camera.
It's not the camera.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
It's the ghost.
It's the ghost, I know.
It's the ghost, I'm telling you. It's the ghost.
All right. Well, hey, I'm Todd. You may have seen me on Nerd Talk and some other shows around WeBeam TV. And I am one of the investigators. My background in this is sort of a little bit loosey-goosey. I was never really a firm believer, hadn't really seen too much or really encountered too much until I met Lisa here, who seems to just draw things to her like a psychic sponge sometimes, to the point that she sometimes will bring things into the home, and we'll be sitting around the house and we'll see like shadow cats run by, or shadows in the hallway, or lights flicking on and off in the bathroom and things like that. And that sort of intrigued me to sort of look into this more. So I'm sort of a non-believer but a believer type of a thing. It takes a lot, and that sort of is how I.
So you're saying
involved.
You're skeptic?
Yeah, I'm more of a skeptic. You really have to sort of hit me with the facts, because I can, with my background, I see a lot of things that people say, oh, it's, that's haunted or this is haunted, but it really wasn't. It was either, something about the building, or, there was a force that really wasn't supernatural. It was just something odd about that location, and it was easily disprovable. So.
It was a ghost.
Paranormal.
The ghost. The paranormal happening. So that's how I came on board. So, and it's exciting. I'm really some of the things we've stumbled into already have been super intriguing, and I will say with Mark being here, just the amount of I want to say lore because my gaming background.
That's exactly that's what it is.
But yeah, but this the amount of lore that Mark brings to the table is super intriguing. I'll share a real short story. We were looking to go check out the Rose Cemetery. I won't say more than that, but I said something like, man, I need a little information about Tarpon Springs and Rose Cemetery. And Mark was like, a ba-boom! And it was like, 2.5 pages.
You got a novel.
I sent you the short version. So
I was like, holy
So
smokes.
hold on a second. So speaking of the Rose Cemetery,
Yes.
let's show. I got a little clip. Let's show that little clip of Rose Cemetery real quick. You can't.
The Para Geeks are here in Tarpon Springs, closer to our home turf for this investigation. We are at Rose Cemetery, one of the oldest cemeteries in the area. We're excited to be here. There is said to be soldiers interred from the Civil War here, as well as a lot of local slaves and things like that from back in the day in the earliest part of Tarpon Springs. We have the great team with us. We have Nicole, Anthony, and Lisa, and myself, and of course, Robert running tech for us. We're unsure what we're going to find, what's going to happen. Let's watch and see what we discover tonight here in Tarpon Springs.
So yeah, so that was you guys were that thing flying around was not a ghost.
No, it was not a ghost.
We'll hit on my side of the text. Let's talk.
Right.
Let's talk to Miss Lisa down there.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, sure. No,
I want to say, because you probably missed this, but if you ever go ghost hunting after dark
in Florida,
do not wear shorts. That is an important safety
the
tip.
other important piece of equipment, bug spray.
And bug spray.
You had at least 50.
I'm going to stop right there, but it was a miserable 3 days. While I
so
was
you had bites where you don't want to have bites.
I had, yes, and my holiday hoobie wuddies.
He was a mess. That's all I got to say. And as he said, I drag things home. I don't knowingly drag things home. They just show up. I don't know why. But we've had weird things happen in our house that we've been in for just a couple years. Bathroom light will turn on in the middle of the night. Fans will turn off or turn on.
So what is your name?
My name is Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a ghost hunter.
Well, you jump right
Well,
in.
hey, I am not a TV star.
It's all good.
That's why we have
That's
you.
why we need an investigation.
Not yet.
So, yeah.
That's right.
You'll be in a year from now. You'll be doing cons and going.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Lisa. I bring
Florida
crap
paranormal.
home.
That'd be $500 for my autograph.
Yeah.
That would be a dream come
I'm
true.
still waiting on
but-
that one myself. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me come see you.
how long have you been interested, or have you done other investigations?
I have always been interested, curious. Until I moved to Florida, though, I really didn't have much happen to me. And then Todd and I got together, and I don't know if it was the combo of...
I see where the problem is already. It ain't ghost. It's Todd.
Just him.
He's just fat.
It could just be that this whole state is built on.
Hey,
Indian
I want to know.
ground,
Hey,
so-
do you find yourself seeing or smelling a lot of vapors? Just
Vapors?
Just asking. Yeah, vapors.
a sulfur stench?
Well, I was just going to say...
Satan's around you.
Say that one night we smelled the maple syrup and we couldn't figure out.
No, I like that. I like that you said that you don't want to. You're skeptical, but still.
Well, I've had
interested.
some weird things happen.
Okay.
And I've always been
yeah.
very empathic. People will drain me of energy. Just their presence in the room will just, suck the life out of you.
John.
It's exhausting.
I'm a vampire.
So I don't know if that's all tied in. I really don't understand the whole concept of it. I don't want to say that I'm psychic because I certainly don't think I am. But
sensitive.
I have seen some weird stuff.
Okay.
Well, you said you've brought stuff home, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
big
mean-
deal.
We swear we've got a cat that we don't have in our house.
A cat that
A
you
cat.
don't have.
Paranormal pet. So there is.
Dude, it's crazy.
No, I don't believe me. I've heard this. So and
So
had
and
some experience.
here's the one thing that people are at home are going to find out: we are not your typical stick up your ass paranormal group.
No,
Right.
and
So-
we're also not mountain monsters.
No, no.
Where we're going to be inventing things
No.
to investigate,
So
or
here-
going on real investigations and spooking things. But
So-
there's a reason for this.
Right. If you go, okay, so if you go, normally I would say go to webeamtv.com, and that's where you'll find all of our stuff. But I'm going to tell you to go to parageekstv.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on there, we have, if you think you have a ghost, there's 3 ways to get a hold of us: ghost, UFO, paranormal, and Bigfoot, or skunk ape. There's 3 different, because each one of those are setting you up for. So we like say you've seen a skunk ape, right? Florida skunk ape. It wants you. I want to know your longitude and latitude, and it's on there. So you just put the address in, it gives that to us. So that way I can do my research, right? We're going to have fun, but we're going to be serious at the same time. We're not going to sit there and go, yes, we saw a ghost.
No. Or it's
And
even-
you should be scared. Don't go near that house. No, that's not working. And actually, if you need help cleansing, we have someone for that.
And we also have access
do.
to local teams all over.
That's right.
So if we can't get there immediately, we can also have people.
That's
we can get you in
correct.
touch with the people who can, so that we can help you
Right.
as well.
Exactly. So, Miss Lisa, so you said you've actually brought stuff home with you. Mm-hmm. How does it ever go away? Or does it just kind of like go away?
Well, in the past, we've actually saged the house.
Oh, okay.
And, opened the doors and windows, and you need to get out of here.
Purple sticky is not safe. Don't let him tell you that. I'm just saying.
And
not
it
that I
did
know anything
seem
about
to-
that.
To change the atmosphere.
Right.
It's one of those things that you don't necessarily see something, you just
You feel it.
feel a heaviness
Right.
or just an anxious feeling.
It's
That,
like when you hang around with me.
well, I'm used to you now, so that all went away.
Except that
I'm the antagonist. Ask Mark. I like to poke the bear.
He's the poker. So
I
that's,
am the bear.
The poker.
But-
so
go ahead.
now I was gonna say, but so we've got the investigation side.
Right.
You've got the man in the
Oh
middle
no, we got
here.
one. We got one more. We got
got
one
another
more
investigation?
investigation.
All right,
That's
let's do the
Nicole.
other investigation.
So Nicole, let's introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Nicole Farrow. I've been investigating for 15 plus years at this point, all over the east coast of the United States.
So it's not just Florida.
No, not just Florida. I've done most of what I've done in Florida, but when I go out of town, usually, people have their family vacation. My family vacation is going to a haunted location. Sometimes
She's
I
a
bring
bag
my
of rocks
daughter.
fun. Let me tell you right now.
What was that?
Bag of rocks fun.
Bag of rocks fun. That's kind of scary.
It is. It's some scary fun.
But yeah, so it's been interesting to see.
So let's talk about some of the paranormal stuff you've done in Florida.
Florida. I've done a lot of jails. Hopefully, we'll be visiting one soon called Gilcrest. And I can say honestly, out of all the places that I've been to, I think I've only encountered something that I would say is more supernatural than paranormal. And I could say honestly, at this particular jail, I think we ran into a demon.
Okay, let me stop you right there. What is the difference? I've heard this before. What is the difference between paranormal and supernatural? It's the same realm, isn't it?
Again, it's I like to call all of this preternatural, where it's stuff we don't understand yet.
Okay.
These
That's
are
right.
natural things.
Absolutely.
We just haven't studied it enough to understand it. It was coined. I think Shirley Jackson coined it for The Haunting, and it's just stuck with me since. It's for years people didn't understand magnetism. So they just refused to admit it existed. And then when it finally, we studied it, we learned it, we understand how it works. And so that's, where this comes from. But they tend to break it into categories because it's like, okay, so paranormal tends to be more ghostly, was a person, was a thing.
Person at one time.
Yeah, it seems, and that even that subs into categories like.
But a demon was never a person. It comes from a totally different realm.
And
it was never living. It was never on Earth.
And
so that's why I
supernatural.
said supernatural instead of.
And then and like some of the people don't want to call demons because they don't want to bring in theology, so they call them elementals and things like that. So there's lots of different ways, terms and stuff that we'll be discussing over the show.
Semantics.
So it is.
See,
it's
when
semantics.
to me, okay, so
But it's what she's saying. The more demonic seems to be a bit more negative and definitely
Absolutely.
more vicious and stuff.
So we take more aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, keep going. Sorry,
like bunny
I
trail.
sidetracked you.
Well, the reason why I was saying that is because, like I said, being that I don't feel like it was ever something that was human or on Earth, it was like one of the only places that I have been scared or had fear in me.
Okay.
I was not physically pushed, but I was basically forced out of a room by an energy field that I couldn't explain. And the energy field itself, which was really strange at the time, is that you could smell rotting flesh. Or rotting
I know what that
meat.
actually smells like. Some of you don't know.
And it was not always in the same spot in the jail. It would move around to different areas. And then later that night, we also got that overwhelming sulfur smell. Yeah. So, for me to get scared and get pushed out of a room, it's unusual. At this point, I've been doing it so long that I can fall asleep in an investigation before I get scared. But, it was definitely one of the most interesting investigations that I've been on, I could say.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to be nice, I'm going to go back to Mark, because one of the reasons that we've got Mark involved is because we're doing a show called Eerie Travels.
Yes.
Right? And let's show the intro that Eerie Travels.
And the books are fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I know I'm hitting him with some
Here's your
very
$5.
fast. Let's watch the Eerie Travels intro.
I'm Mark Muncy, the author of Eerie, Florida and Freaky Florida. For nearly 30 years, I've collected myths, monsters, legends, and more ghost stories than you can imagine. Join me as we journey to some of the spookiest and craziest places on Earth that might just be in your own backyard. Welcome to Eerie Travels.
All right, so you'll actually get to see that right here on WeBeam TV.
It looked really good.
And hopefully
Really good.
there's another station.
Yeah, hopefully
That's the goal.
other things as
Right.
well. But that's going to the places, interviewing folks about
Right.
the locations, also telling the story, the history, all the fun of the in these crazy locations. That's more closer to my books. So we do go with ghost hunters. We do go with Bigfoot hunters. We do go with some UFO-ologists and I'm sorry, UAP-ologists.
Yeah, I was
now,
gonna say,
as
yep.
the new modern term.
Right.
But and we're also going to go to fun places too, some crazy locations near these other locations that just have some interesting history.
And now Mark is he's very good at what he does. He does not poke the bear.
No.
You're not. Mark is awesome when it comes, like when we don't know something or we get a phone call, we'll go, hey Mark, what about this? And he'll mark, next thing, it's like you said, for that Rose Cemetery, boom, we get a book. We're like, okay, we're good. We know all about it now. And that's what we have Mark on our team for. Mark is our historian. Travelers. You're a historian.
Yeah, exactly.
We're watching.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching old show called Travelers, right? And it's blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they have a tactician. They have a Anyway,
Yeah.
So you are a historian. So we run everything through Mark, and then our next contact, a point of contact, would be Nicole, because Nicole is known the area. See, again, you always surround yourself with people that know what they're doing,
Right.
because my job in this whole thing is to disprove everything. It is my goal to walk in there and let everybody do their thing, and then I go, no, that was a frequency hit off of a radio tower that's 2 miles away, and the frequency's this, and blah, 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 blah. Or, it's creaking the sound. Well, yeah, it's sitting on freaking blocks, and a train just came down 2 miles ago, and the whole thing shakes. Yeah, you're going to have noises. That's my job. Now, but I want to believe, and I want to be proven wrong. So, but if I can prove it scientifically, I'll be the first person to go, this place isn't haunted, it's just...
But you have credentials for a lot of
I do.
things
Well,
people might not know about.
well, first of all, I'm a preacher's kid.
Right.
So, and I am one of these preacher kids that belong to the Pentecostal side. So I've seen literally the demons and the people that are possessed and the sickos, and I literally saw a person float 4 feet off the ground while a whole bunch of people were praying for him, not holding him up. He was just floating. I saw an old guy, had to be 80-something years old. They laid hand on this guy. This guy flew back over 4 pews, got up, walked away like nothing ever happened. Mm-hmm. So I've seen the scary side.
Spiritual side.
Right, I've seen it. But I am a double degree. I have 2 bachelors in engineering, one for acoustical engineering, which is science-based, and then I have the artistic side. So I know how to read sound waves, video waves, and then we have Rob in the back, who is just like me. He's an old audio video guy. He's a tech guy. That we both can rip video apart and go, well, right there, what we see. What we see on as a picture, me and Rob rip apart and go, well, this is the waveform, and this is the breakdown of, and no, that's a shadow, and that's because it's doing this, or yeah, that shouldn't belong there. There's no way anything can make it. That's a ghost.
And then with me, I've got background in haunting, creating haunted house attractions, so making things look spooky that aren't. And also, I was a stage magician for a short time,
right?
So I also have that background. So I have the Amazing Randy as one of my idols. So the great debunker, and was a wonderful guy to meet. And he still had that check in his pocket to his dying day, that if anybody could prove the supernatural, he would give them $1 million.
Wow!
And he had that check in his pocket.
No.
And met him in Penn and Teller at the same time. It was really awesome. Magicians conference.
That's a threefer.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Magicians conference. You gotta love it. So we're all trying to outdo each other with tricks, and those were the 3 that were the goal. So I bring that to the table too. I can look and say, oh look, the floating brick. Hey, it's styrofoam.
Right.
So it looks like a rock, but that was
we're gonna
show that shall remain nameless.
We're gonna show a piece of footage.
Pieces.
We're gonna show a piece of footage from Skyway. We're gonna show a couple of pieces here from Mark's Eerie Travels, because it shows you the depth of what we're going to. Okay. So the first we're gonna show, and we'll come back and talk about a little bit, is the Skyway fishing pier, which is really
the haunted bus.
The haunted bus.
On that fateful May morning in 1980, this was the old span of the Skyway Bridge. Once hit by the Summit Venture and started collapsing, this is the bridge everyone was driving on as they fell into the waters of Tampa Bay below. Now this bridge peaked behind me at 140 feet. The new span that you can see is 210 feet. So a little bit higher to allow the bigger cruise ships of the modern day to get through. But at that time was still a very high bridge. Now, the thing that people see surrounding us right now are a lot of fishermen, and they're here 24 hours a day because it's a great place to fish in Tampa Bay. But it's also a great place for ghost stories. Now, the story that strikes most comes from that disaster. The Greyhound bus that plunged into the waters after the bridge collapsed is still seen to this day driving across this bridge at an ungodly speed. Now, it's a fishing pier now. the speed limit is 15 miles an hour. So if somebody sees a bus come barreling down at them at any hour of the day, it's a pretty scary thought as is. But it comes and it drives right up and disappears right off of this bridge into the water. Now, 2 Seminoles that were working on the new span, putting in the lighting, told us last year while they were working on the new under LED lighting under the bridge that they heard a giant car crash sound and a splash into the water below from the old bridge. Realizing what they'd heard, they knew it was the bus. Dark tale, dark waters here in Tampa Bay.
That was cool.
That is.
And
Very
again,
cool.
it's a classic story. And you were saying, go down there with a camera and watch. And you can go there. The pier is open for anybody to go visit. Filming is,
But even, I don't know if they would let you walk up there and stay.
not
there.
up on the
Oh, so
main
just
Skyway.
on the
This is
pier
on the
itself.
old pier.
Old
the
pier.
fishing
That
pier.
fishing
Yeah.
pier, yeah.
The fishing pier, not where the new bridge is. Now the new bridge, it's got its own dark past already. It's 243
Everybody-
suicides
yeah,
off of
committed
it. So,
suicides there. I mean,
and it's
They took
not
the-
high enough to kill you is the problem. So
how is that if they're all
it's,
dying?
they drown. They break
Depends on
when
how
they hit
you
the
hit.
water.
Oh yeah, I could see them
And
breaking
that's-
bones.
the ones
or
that die
whatever.
are the ones that hit the rocks down on the bottom.
Or drown.
Or that's just it. They
Right.
break
They-
every bone and
Didn't we
drown
have
slowly.
one just like a couple months ago? A guy threw his kid off the bridge. or
That was
something?
That
about
was a couple
a
years ago.
couple years ago, and that wasn't even up on the big bridge. He was on the side.
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, he was
loading
on. I
bridge,
think he was
so.
on the approach to the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah.
But that's why they don't allow stopping. That's why they're very careful when they do the jogging there and all that. Because they want to watch to make sure nobody jumps off the top.
Right. Well, you know what's nice though. What's nice about that clip though, I think it really puts the framework of what we're doing. We're trying to
Exactly.
bring information, a historic aspect, just not,
And and
multiple angles how we're approaching these
and
different.
even that
things.
story, there's validation because I got an email shortly, not too long ago when they were doing the lighting underneath the Skyway. It
sure.
has those nice lightings. They had a couple Seminoles working on the lighting because they were all wire workers. A lot of them work for that because they've gotten the experience with it doing that. So they came out and they emailed Al Going Back, shaman of the Seminole tribe. I'm sorry, medicine man of the Seminole tribe. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, Al. He
Way
doesn't
to
like
go.
to call it. Sean,
Now you're gonna get-
He's gonna get me.
Oh, you're in trouble.
But anyway, Al messaged me these two guys' info because they wanted to tell their story. They were out working on the bridge, and one morning they hear this vroom and a huge splash, and they're looking to see what happened, and it's nothing. And they realized it was the bus.
It was the bus.
Oh,
It was the
wow.
bus again. So yeah, it's crazy.
You probably have
That's-
to sit out there a
So the
couple
bus is
mornings.
basically a residual.
It's
at
a
that
residual.
point?
I think it's a residual.
It's a
Yeah,
residual
it's
and not everybody sees this. Not every day. It's just random days, and it's not on anniversaries or anything like that. It just kind of happens some mornings.
So since we're in St. Pete, we're going to show this one here. This is the bathroom that we
Oh,
filmed.
Comfort Station 1.
Comfort Station
You want a haunted fun
1.
place? Let's
Comfort Station.
take a
I
look
don't
at
want
this
a
one.
ghost laughing at my willy.
Now, when you think of haunted locations, you think of hotels or castles or unique haunted houses and crazy cemeteries. What you don't think of often is a public restroom. This is Comfort Station 1 in the heart of St. Petersburg, right at the downtown. And this building has kind of an infamous history. It was built by an architect who built a church 2 blocks north. Now, the church and this bathroom have the same basic structure and outline. So some people assumed, the church didn't pay his bills, so the architect built the bathroom to, show how much he thought of the church. Well, truth is, the history is a little different. He actually built this first as a test, kind of a model to see if he could build the church in the style he wanted to. It was successful, so yes, open to the public as a restroom for the city, and now he built the church 2 blocks north. Now, the dark history behind it is this place is notoriously haunted. There are numerous ghostly sightings here dating back to the 1960s, and some say even earlier before they were reported. Now, what people hear here is unusual sounds coming from neighboring stalls, voices when no one else is in there, and strange apparitions are seen coming in and out. Now, the local residents refuse to even come in here at night, and some of the homeless population won't even come in here on the coldest nights of the year for fear of the spirits of Comfort Station 1. Just an odd place here in the heart of St. Petersburg.
So see that's cool.
That is,
right?
that
It's
is.
not
No,
exactly a place you can haunt. You can do an investigation at because It's a public restroom.
Every time I think about that, I'm thinking of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Where the
Moaning Myrtle?
yeah, she's in there going. She's all the guys are like, really? I gotta pee.
Yeah.
Come on, leave me alone.
And so that's the kind of place we can't investigate, but we can definitely point out, as we go to.
So tell us the funny thing about it, though.
What the
about
best part?
that in the church?
The history.
Okay.
I think we just said that in the video.
Yeah.
The story was there's a church right up the street that's a big fancy church, and it was like, oh, he didn't. The architect built both of them, and that conversation looks exactly like the church. So everybody assumed historically, oh, he didn't get paid to build the church, so he built the bathroom just to make fun of the church.
Nice bathroom?
But
Is it beautiful?
it is beautiful.
It's actually
That's
very
a great
nice.
architecture.
Yeah.
But the truth is, he built that first to see if he could upscale it for the church to make sure the roof worked and everything else. So again, that's where the history comes in. We debunk that part of the myth.
Was it actually built as a bathroom?
Yes,
It was.
It was built as a bathroom,
Yeah.
as just to be a functional thing by the water, by the $1 Million Pier. So it was before the $1 Million Pier, so that would have been the Festival Pier.
So the question though is, what happened though to make it a haunted thing?
That's the history of it. Is there's been some deaths associated with it. There's been some.
Is it the land? Is it an item, an object?
Someone
that's-
got killed.
It's at the
Someone got
base
killed
of the
in the
pier,
restroom,
so there's
or-
a ton of history there.
Murder,
that
death,
it could
kill.
be anything.
Murder, death,
and
kill.
it's just that's the story, and that's why it's tough to
So much
investigate.
history in the area. It's cool.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how much history. I mean, we have another piece for the Vinoy, but we're
Florida's a young state.
yeah, but a lot
But
of killing
it's also
going
the
on here.
oldest
It's
state.
also the
It's also
oldest.
the oldest city in America is
Amazing.
St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And New Smyrna may even predate that. They're figuring out.
I
now,
mean,
so-
just today.
The St. Augustine would not be very happy to find out that New Smyrna's ruins might predate their castle. So by about 50 years. So, because the New Smyrna castle had a plantation built and it was destroyed, but now they found out that they've started excavating underneath the plantation and they found an old pre-foundation that
How
might have been
about
a
interesting.
Spanish fort that would predate
That's
St.
amazing.
Augustine by about 50 years. So it'd be like
So we're going to take a break from, because we have some more footage I want to show, because we did something up in Tennessee.
Yes.
That we did, but let's go through some of the gear that everybody on everybody watches all these guys on TV, and they're like, well, where'd you get all this stuff and blah blah blah, and what is it? And so let's start down there, not with the wands. Everybody knows what a wand is. I carry that just in case, in case I'm a wizard. So we have a spirit box that we got from where we get them over in Orlando.
Orlando, right?
Yeah, over in Orlando.
No, in Orlando.
Yeah, it was in Orlando.
Yeah. The ghost hunters.
Well,
Oh, the
there's
ghost-
different companies in
Yeah.
different general areas.
Yeah. Boy.
So now is that a?
It's from Ghost Stop.
Yeah, that was it. Ghost Stop.
There's
Okay.
a couple different companies that in Florida that make paranormal equipment.
Yes.
So being an engineer, I look at all this stuff going, I could make that. I can
Right,
make that.
Everybody was making
And I
them
can make
Radio
that.
Shack and
Yep.
then just flipping them around themselves.
Right.
I mean, almost.
Well, they found there was a
everything
market
you can-
for it. And
Yeah.
Right.
So all the technicians that got fired from Radio Shack went and started their own ghost stuff. But so we use the spirit box, which is it's a modified radio. But now that one has a recorder inside of it.
An AM FM radio though, like it's not just like a typical.
It's a typical AM FM radio.
Yeah,
All they've done is they've modified the scanner on the inside to scan either. Now that one you can speed it up or slow it,
It
down.
does.
Right.
AM or FM, you can choose one, and all it does is it just goes
random channels.
Random
Does that one
channels.
go backwards or does it go forward?
both.
Okay.
That's whenever I have to tell it to do, and it has a recorder built in.
Okay.
So
Great.
Yeah, that's cool.
So because the problem I see, let me see that, Todd, for me, please,
Certainly.
buddy. Go to a wide shot. So you get this, right, and it's got a recorder inside of it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem you have is I see a lot of people getting this, and let me have one of those.
Which the voice recorder?
Yep, voice recorders. And they'll put these down together.
Yes.
And I go, well,
Yeah.
this is going tick, 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 tick,
Yeah,
tick, tick,
'cause
tick, tick, and this is going to go tick, 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 and whatever you hear here, you're going to hear here.
Yep.
This has to be either done with a single person off by themselves in an area, or
Where there's no
let it
sound
lay,
pollution.
where you can't get interference. I'm the technical guy,
No,
so I see this
100%.
all the time. We did an investigation And I swear to God, they had their spirit box actually to I call them squawk boxes. They're Bluetooth boxes, right? And the problem is when that making you noise, these become useless.
Yes.
Absolutely useless. So can't be used together. It has to be used separately, right? Yep. Now these are really good because I'll tell you, these are super sensitive. I have a much bigger. I have a Sony version of this. I would never take out into a field because it's just overkill. So these right here, and they have. What's the matter, Todd? You been drinking?
It's this Tijuana Rooster
Tea, man. It's good. Got the skill in it. But anyway, these are very important for us because this is how we catch the higher frequencies when the spirits, the supernatural, the demons. I'm a demon. Talking to you.
You know, I've never had one actually say that they're.
I'm a demon.
No, they don't. Yeah,
I know where you live, Nicole.
They come to you as a child or something.
Hi, Nicole.
I had one that was constantly calling me mommy. Like,
oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if the entity that was there thought I was their mother or had some.
So this wasn't when you were a child.
No,
just that's the sounds they make. Yeah.
You know, doing an investigation. I was actually at the Gulfstream Hotel in
Oglethorpe.
That's one Fort Lauderdale.
No,
I'm just throwing names out there.
It's on the East Coast, but I don't remember. It's like Fort Pierce or something like that.
Oh, okay.
They're actually redoing it now, so nobody can get in there to investigate anymore. That place, we were actually in the back of a freezer in what was the kitchen to the hotel at the time, and I brought a teddy bear and some coloring books and crayons, and I was like, and I swear I had there was actually probably 8 or 9 people in the room, and it would only talk to me. And
if you tell me it colored only in the lines, I'm out of here.
No, but you know what?
Just
Her
saying.
favorite color was blue. Her name was Jane, and she supposedly, the only noted death on the property was a little girl that fell down an elevator shaft that wasn't working.
Oh my.
And for some reason, she wanted to talk to me, and the first thing when I said, is there anybody here? Would anybody like to talk to us? Mommy? And it melted me. I was just almost distraught at that point to think that this poor kid was like.
Oh my God.
So was that an EVP?
Yes.
Oh, it was an EVP.
It was. Class A EV. Everybody that was there was like, oh my God. And then, like I said, I started asking, how old was she? What was her name? Her favorite color? All that kind. And she answered every single question. As soon as I asked it, it was like clockwork. It was crazy.
See, that's cool.
No, Class A, Class Class
Right.
B's. These are different terms that the para explorers and para investigators, para community. There we go.
Para community. I like that.
For what for these terms is Class A is one where it's actually audible,
crystal clear,
you can, and it's not the. Oh, and that's.
Let me translate that for you.
What? No. It's.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. No, it's. That's a Class
It's a
A.
demon.
Where you can actually make it out, understand what it is, and sometimes they're still not, and some are even audible at the moment or very faint at the moment, but
I did
the reader
hear it at the time with my ears. I could only hear it in the recorder.
We're gonna record it.
So this is a proximity sensor, right? And now this one right here can do the one I do like this one. I think they did a not so great job on 3D printing, but it gives you the ability to set your zone, whether it's 5 feet, 15 feet, or 30 feet. And then also, if you could ask it questions, a certain color, right? Yes or no. And here's kind of funny. We were doing the one up in Tennessee.
Yep.
I felt like it was in my ear.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it, and it would go. That would be the color to go.
Yeah.
It's really there. And then if it's got 4 colors, and then one color is for male, one color is for female, and a yes or no, and then a proximity.
I think that we had a lot of luck with that.
Oh yeah. This one worked well.
In Molly's room. I mean, I preferred that.
And when she told us to get out,
yeah,
we did.
Time to go.
Yeah, we left.
Time to go.
Yep.
That's good.
So so we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna say, okay, this is let's do the Rose Cemetery. No, not Rose. I'm sorry, Rogersville. Now this is a little bit long, but it's worth watching, and this is a little taste of what starts next week.
My name is Jim Sales. I'm the mayor of Rogersville. I've been the mayor in Rogersville for 43 or 44 years. There is such a lot of history here in Rogersville. One time this hotel was the headquarters of the the North, and across the street was the headquarters of the South, and they were facing each other, which I think is very, very odd that you'd have that right across the street from one another.
Well, Rogersville was founded by a love story.
Shortly after Tom got here, this young Irishman comes stumbling through the woods looking for a job. And so Tom hired him and put him to work in his mercantile or his store, and the guy's name was Joseph Rogers. Well, it wasn't long and Joseph fell out for one of Tom's daughters named Mary. Well, Mary was only 16. Of course, Joseph was probably in his early 20s at the time. But anyway, Tom didn't want any part of that, and I'm just kind of putting two and two together here. Remember, Tom was a French Huguenot, a French Protestant, who had been kicked, his family had been kicked out of France by the Catholics. Well, I guarantee you Joseph Rogers was an Irish Catholic. At that time, they all were. And so he said, nah, that's not going to happen. Besides,
There's a lot there.
So this town, they called you first. Let's talk about this real quick.
They emailed me. I get, because I'm
because he's
known in the
Mark.
Community. Been on a few shows of note.
Just a couple.
Just a few.
So you're a player. He's a player.
I get some emails that are always like, "Hey, I've got this incident. I've got this," and a lot of them, it's like, are like, "We don't want anybody to know." But can you put us in touch with the right person? And of course I do. But then some are like, hey, we need, some exposure. We want to talk to people. And I'm like, hey, I know some peeps.
Yep.
That would be good for this. And
So
I got this email from this.
So you got us in touch with
historian.
them, and then I got in touch with PTI.
Yep.
Yeah.
PTI called me, and we set it all up in whole 9 yards, and we RV'd up, and the team was me, Todd, Lisa,
Mike.
Rob, and this other guy. And
Other guy.
so anyway, so we stayed in the RV. You guys actually stayed in the hotel, and the first night there, it got active.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everywhere we went in that town was active.
There's so much
crazy.
history in that town. And
Yeah.
it's at Rogersville, Tennessee.
Rogersville,
and
Tennessee,
it's,
yeah.
And it's it's another one of the earliest settled cities. I mean, was it Davy Crockett's grandparents?
Yes.
That was his
So-
their plat.
Yes.
So the man that was talking, right, was giving us the story of the Ami family, and that this town is not only is it Civil War, but it's Revolutionary history
Oh, yeah,
as well.
this is
Yeah.
Because the
They
Ami
were there
family were given
Pre-Crockett.
Exactly. This was early settling of the whole wild frontier.
So we were there to do the hotel. Help me out here. Hotel name.
What?
The Hell Inn.
Thank
right?
you.
So we did
thanks, God.
the Hell Inn. God.
Oh, I kept thinking
Is
Roger.
that you, God?
Hell
So
springs in.
Hell
Hell
Spring Inn.
Springs Inn.
So we
Oh,
did
that's
that
right.
one, but before we left, they literally said to us, "We want you back. We want to do a full investigation." The problem we had is that there were, God, it had to be 100 people there
It's crazy.
over the weekend. And in my personal opinion, you can't do a real investigation with tons of people tromping around.
No.
You just can't do
Right.
it. So they've agreed to let us come back up and do another investigation, but we're also going to investigate the rest of the town. Because the town was built on an old stagecoach run,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so so not only are we going to do Rogersville, but we're also going to do where PTI is from as well, because so Rogersville was they were the bars, the drinks. The Civil War that happened there is
boom.
absolutely
They were,
right.
Yep.
And where PTI is from was
Bars
the
and brothels.
bars and
basically,
brothels.
yep.
Yeah.
So the whole place is creepily. I mean, there's stuff
Very
everywhere.
Deadwood. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
That
we
is
went-
Deadwood. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did the inn, and then we also did Davy Crockett's mother and father, grandparents,
That's cemetery.
cemetery,
Oh, okay. I missed that
which
part.
is that's not in there. That's got to watch the show for that. So yeah, I mean we're gonna deep dive on these now. from a technician, I'm just telling you right now, you got to watch out. I might be surprised. I may be right. I may be wrong. You never know.
That's what we'll find out.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you the best part though. One of the best tools I really like this. This was great.
The proximity.
But the FLIR.
Oh yeah. So we have the
FLIR was fantastic.
there's multiple cameras. I know Miss Nicole here loves
That's my favorite.
she likes the big FLIR camera, right? Which is great and all, but since I'm a tech, I contacted FLIR and I said, okay, what do I want to buy the camera or do I want to buy the module that goes on my phone? And they're like, what are you doing? So I told them what we're doing. He goes, well, if you're not doing it for plumbing and electrical, which is really kind of what it's made for.
Really made for.
For like hunting and stuff.
No.
The hunters use it.
Hunter use it.
Go out in the middle of the woods at night. They want to see whatever's making all the little noises. And
Well,
stuff like
and
that.
that's
Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, we can do it. But because I'm not setting alone FLIR cameras and stuff,
One day when I grow up.
this little bad boy right here goes on the end of my iPhone, and the power that's in this, he said, you don't need a FLIR camera.
Yeah.
Your iPhone will give you that and plus, because there's stuff I can go in there and go inside and tell it what I want to do, how I want it to do it, what I'm looking for.
You like hooking it up to a desktop?
Can
Yes.
you only
PC
use
or-
it with an iPhone, or do you?
No, you can use an Android. No, it can be used
There's
for
an adapter
Android.
for
Yeah.
it, so, yeah.
Well, it's just got to have that little wonderful USB-C. We got a camera that's getting ready to die on us out here because the batteries are not good. That's not
no.
good. So this
What
little
happens
thing,
when you do paranormal?
I know.
Which is why one of the other pieces of equipment we were talking about is spare batteries.
spare batteries. So that's
FLIR was good though.
This.
I'll tell you
Right.
what though, the FLIR was. I'm not going to give anything away, but it was an extraordinary piece of equipment for some of the things that happened in that
It's
first one we were in.
undeniable.
It was- it was a-
really
Yeah, it is.
something that
Yeah.
you cannot say was or wasn't happening. Like it.
and
on.
in combination with the grid. The laser grid, we do have a laser grid. I would put it I'd blind you all at home. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't do it.
So, but the laser grid itself is a monstrous little piece. That is good. This, badass. So this, we're going to go here first because this is electromagnetic radiation tester, right? So this is what you find your kind of like your energy readings, right? Well,
Detects variations in
I kind of like this. This is okay.
detects variations in electromagnetic fields, but it'll tell you when your cell phone signal's going
Right.
off. It'll tell you when
Right,
other
right,
things.
right.
So that's why they're not 100% reliable, but they do tend to detect things
Yes.
that when there's a
But
variation.
so many people don't realize that when it comes to those.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, they think. Oh yeah, I used to go on ghost tours in St. Augustine a lot, and they'll take you to these buildings and they'll give you these EMF detectors, and they'll go, "See, look over here. This is the hot spot," and everybody spots it, and then everybody walks over and goes, "Oh, it's spiking, it's spiking," and it's like, yeah, because there's wiring behind that wall
Right.
for the for the cable. I know that, but that's but that's fine. It's fun. It's for tourists. It's
Or you can
good.
see, sometimes it goes in a specific rhythm, and that rhythm's like, okay, is everybody getting an email right now?
Yeah, exactly. Or does the Amber Alert go off?
But
Right.
Yeah.
it answered me right when I said to, okay, but it's been answering you that same,
Yeah,
for
right.
the last 2 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
common sense.
Now, but they can be useful. There is detection of that these things do find things. But then, what's your other one?
So this one right here is more for radiation. They say the names are the same, but this is more for this right here tells me whether or not I've got like there could be a microwave in the next room that someone was using, and I'm like, but this will pick it up through the walls.
Yeah.
And that one will get hot. This right here tells me the meter side, how strong they are, the cycles. I like this more than I like that. They're almost the same instrument, but they're really kind of
But
not.
the nice thing is with that, you can see how many cycles it has, so you can see
Right.
it's not just a machine
And these
doing
are-
it. It might be more natural.
Battery, the most important thing that we have in the field, right here.
Yeah, the battery.
Battery backups.
Yeah.
Because every time we went into, one of our recorders they just came off the chargers, went into a room, it died. I had to plug one of these in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I had that handheld camera
Out in the
Yeah.
cemetery.
at the cemetery. Yeah,
Yeah.
brand new, like brand new. And
Yeah.
I watched it go.
We
So
went
it was crazy.
to investigate a place that was this guy thought he had a portal of something in his driveway. And I, like an idiot, drove up to his house, went over the driveway. And then as soon as we did that, sure enough, I could not start my car.
Oh, really?
It literally died as we drove over. and it was a fairly new battery. I wouldn't say it was brand new, but it was definitely within a year.
That's great.
And they were like, they had never seen a battery die like that. When I had to replace it, they were like, this is like negatives, and
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but what was fun was the tow truck comes out to get us,
Yeah.
and his battery died. So there you go. So yeah, it's a known phenomena with these things, and that was a fun story. But we'll talk
Now
about
you
that
have
on
some
Geary
gear
Travels.
of your own, right?
Yeah.
And that we don't have out here. What do you use?
I generally use the same things that you have out here. I do have dowsing rods. I don't use them very often because it's just it's too easily manipulated by the person using them, and most of the time they don't even realize.
Squeeze
that
a
they're
little bit,
moving.
pull a little bit.
And all it takes is the slightest bit of movement for that to give you a false.
So we're gonna show one more video. I'm not to interrupt you. I really am not trying to. We're gonna show one more, and it is the train station that we did up in Brooksville.
Brooksville,
And that will give him time to swap out batteries real quick. So as soon as you're ready, Rob, roll that footage, and then we'll get right back to you.
Roll that. So we are now in the train car just outside the 1885 Train Museum, and it is an amazing historical place. There's lots of wonderful things to look at, and we are here with Jesse from Brooksville Pit, paranormal investigation team of the area, and also one of the custodians of this place. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Okay, so our group was founded in 2013. We became volunteers for the Hernando Historical Museum Association in 2014. So we give tours here at the Brooksville Train Depot, ghost tours, not too much with the history. So that's what we
That's
got.
awesome. So now you guys have been here many times, and
Right.
seen lots of things. So tell us, what have you seen?
Okay, so we have investigated this place quite a bit, and like I said, we do give tours here. So we give our tours based on the investigations and experiences that we've had. For example, here in the train car is haunted by a spirit we call the Whistler. This man has been caught whistling throughout the night. When I set up live cameras in here, multiple people at the same time have witnessed it. Also, I've seen this man once right here in this window. I came to replace some batteries during a live stream, and I look into the window and I see him, and he's staring at me. He's right behind my shoulders, right where you're standing. And I look down, I look back up again, and like, oh my God, he's still there. And I couldn't take off running because here I am live, and I don't want to make myself look like a chicken. But yeah, so this gentleman is here.
All right. Yeah, we had an encounter with him ourselves. We were here earlier doing some test footage, and when we were scouting locations, and one of our production team decided to have a little fun with the Whistler, and sure enough, all the audio from that footage just went bad. We filmed a dozen places that day. Everything we did fine right there. Right when he did it, boom, it went out.
Yeah.
So we know not to mess with the Whistler. Mr. Whistler, thank you for letting us be here. And for those of you who wanted to arrange this, contact the Hernando County Historical Society. Small donation. You can come out here and spend some quality time with the Whistler. Some of the dark shadows you guys have said you've seen here. And this train car was abandoned in the middle of the green swamp on the old plant line, and the plant line is here too, so they moved it, brought it here, restored it. It's amazing, it's beautiful, but definitely someplace that you might want to check out for your eerie travels.
Okay, so
All right.
the one thing that about this, once we filmed on the inside,
Yeah.
was great. Hey, let me ask Rob in the back, the voice of God. Do we have the bad footage by any chance?
Oh, yeah. Because
Oh, not to show right now. Okay,
yeah, we went up. You want me to tell the story?
Yeah, you tell the
All right, I'll tell the story. We went up to Brooksville train station. It's a very haunted location, as we just discussed. The Whistling Ghost is famous there. Paranormal investigators love this location because they always catch the whistling in the boxcar. This boxcar was found in the middle of the Ocala National Forest, and I think I just showed all that in a clip, so I won't go over it again. But anyway, we went up to film a little intro, and we filmed outside the train car, and I'm kind of doing my speech, and I'm talking about the Whistler, and this guy has to poke the bear, John here, because I'm like, don't make fun of the ghosts, don't do this, don't do this.
I wasn't making fun.
He's like, hey, Whistler, you there? And all this. Come on out, whistle.
I was doing my Negan whistle.
Yeah, and he starts whistling, and sure enough, all the footage we had from that died.
Yeah.
None of it recorded. No audio
Oh
recorded.
no, we got it.
We got it, but it was all,
so bad we
Yeah.
couldn't use it.
Yeah, it was like glitchy.
Solarized. It was the audio.
Yeah,
The
he
only
took something off.
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
only footage that was good was his daughter.
Was my daughter, who was very respectful to the spirit and was like,
funny.
and was just there to learn to do some
So bad.
photography. And,
I apologized when we went back.
yeah, and,
I did when I walked in. I said, "I'm sorry. I
and
didn't
then
mean.
that's
I
why
did not
that
mean."
footage came out okay.
Yep,
So,
yep.
And we want to thank Jesse from the Brooksville Pit,
Yeah.
who led us into that and led us into the May Stringer
Jesse's a
house.
good guy.
He is
Yeah.
great, and we highly recommend. We'll probably be working with him at some point here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, Nicole has.
Yeah,
yeah, just-
I know them as well.
No, good. Well, we run in the same circles. It was funny.
Exactly.
We are been friends for a while
Yeah,
online,
like
and
5 years we've
and
been
this is our
friends.
first night actually meeting her was just before this show. So
In person.
yeah.
What do you call that in real life? In
Yeah, IRL.
IRL.
IRL. Yeah.
I'm
Because
there
we're
in IRL.
millennials.
Millennials.
Yep,
right.
yep. All right,
So I
so
don't understand what we're saying.
I have no idea. When you guys start doing acronyms, you might as well be talking Greek as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. That's when we go. Well, you.
I look them up or I ask my daughter, what does this mean? What does it mean? Like, what's wrong with you?
No,
Mom,
I,
you're so stupid.
I've
We had
learned
to
not
turn
to
our
look them
beeper
up.
upside down to figure out what the hell everybody was talking about. They just have little letters,
Right? Right. You know, I remember turning.
right?
but anyway, so we will be going on investigations.
Yes.
You guys will be going. I'll occasionally come to you.
Well-
And then we will come back with the footage.
Right. So we are going up to
Gilchrist.
Gilchrist, and that's May 1st. So we'll be filming up there. Or is it May 1st? May 1st,
Yeah,
right?
May
May
1st.
1st.
May 1st.
So that'll be coming up next couple of weeks after we do, because we're going to show the next week is going to be a 2-part for Rogersville, because we couldn't fit it all in one,
Of course not.
right? So we did a lot of stuff up there.
So much.
And we're going back. So they've already contacted us to go back, but we're going to, like I said, we're going to do the whole town, because there's 2 restaurants downtown that have spirits in them as well. So we figure, why not do the whole town? It'll probably be a long week, like a midweek, like Wednesday to Sunday or something like that, because it takes time.
Yeah.
This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Actually, you can do stuff during the daytime, but they have business, so we can't
Yeah,
stop their
that's
business.
the reason why so many people investigate places at night. Not just because
Right.
the ghosts are more active.
No.
It's because
Ghosts are active.
open.
Yeah, ghosts are active all
anytime.
the time.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do a place in St. Pete, I do believe.
We've got
Yeah.
a couple on tap.
Right. So, hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
If you have any questions, go to ParaGeeksTV.com. Normally it's WeBeam TV, but you can get there from WeBeam TV. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Bye.